Okay, we should be live. Alright, let's play one of these chapters, I guess. What is this? Why is this going under the thing instead of over it? Alright. So, like I said, hey guys, so like I said in a previous stream, the goal is to try to finish up some of these games that I started. And I guess we'll start with this. I do need to offload a bunch of my equipment though. Wait, how do I forgot how to play this game. $300. Well, I forgot how to access the supplies. No. I forgot where the long-term storage thing is.
I could use some more sleep. Maybe I'm overworking.
Salvage? Switch to storehouse. Wait a minute. So if I have this, how do I put the item in the storehouse? I never figured out how to do that in this game. In Neo, it was just a matter of opening the menu and sending it into the storehouse. I don't know how to do that in this game. Is it this guy?
Something you want.
No, it's not this guy.
I trust you'll be back.
Hey, Joey, good evening. Yeah, I don't know where I'm supposed to go to get rid of all this junk that I'm carrying around. Like if I wanted to where do I go to put this? I feel like it's the blacksmith. Normally there's an item. There's like a storehouse somewhere. Is it her?
Welcome.
Switch to storehouse. You found those things fascinating? I didn't check. Hold on. Oh, the thermal grizzly stuff? Yeah, I just find it weird that way. What? How do I go back to inventory? How do I send things into the... Yeah, the contact plates and stuff. See, my point of view on that is I just don't... I don't think that the manufacturer of the CPU... We shouldn't be dependent on third-party solutions to lower temperatures. That, to me, just seems kind of unacceptable, how Intel's processor... Well, I mean, AMD's one could use a contact plate as well. But... I'll I'll be honest with you, I'm never gonna add a contact plate to my. I'm not gonna lap my processor down. I'm not going to add a thermal grizzly or third-party contact plate to improve the mounting pressure. Yeah, I understand that it lowers the temperatures. I'm never gonna bother to do that though. Like that's it to me. It's kind of annoying that the engineer whoever designed the processor socket in the first place, the fact that it generates too much heat, that's really bad. And this goes back to what I was saying in the previous stream. You know, overclocking is basically dead because the processor can barely be handled from conventional air cooling. Oh, no, I mean, I know there's a big difference. I knew there'd be a big difference. Hey, Hades. Man, I don't know how to send things in this game to my... I can't... What is this? Like, how do you send things into the storehouse? Does it automatically... I can't believe this game... This game is so bad compared to... Man, even... I don't know how Team Ninja messed this up. I can't believe I have to look this up. To add items to the storehouse, the player can go to any section, check each item they want by pressing Y or triangle. Y or triangle doesn't do anything. We might switch to a different game. This game's annoying me. This is the Achilles heel of the Team Ninja Souls type games is inventory management. Seriously, it's inventory management. Like, I don't even understand how I'm supposed to get to the storehouse. This is ridiculous. Salvage? Okay, I can do that, but that's just going to... That's just going to salvage this thing. I don't actually want to salvage anything. I want to move it to the... I want to move it into the storehouse, but I don't know how. I can't believe I have to look this up. Once you're in the hidden village, head down the vine to reach the blacksmith. Select any option from the blacksmith to open up your inventory. Then you'll find that there's a prompt in the upper right corner of the screen. I knew I had to talk to her.
I could use some more sleep. Maybe I'm overworking.
Upper right hand corner of the screen, depending on your platform. It will switch to the storehouse. From within the storehouse menu, you can peruse anything you've moved over. And how do I actually transfer things to the storehouse? Oh, okay. See, this is dumb. Like, how do I... You just have to do it like this? Wait, so I have to manually select everything? One at a time? There's no way to select all? You're running it at 6263. Well, how big is the storehouse? Storehouse? Oh. Wait a minute. Why are all these things like... Oh, because they can't be leveled up. How do I just like select things? Isn't there a way for me to... What am I pressing? Like... Man, I really don't like this game. It's... How is there no way to just select things? I don't want to have to click every single thing and send it one by one. That's terrible. This is how you send things to the storehouse? This is the only way? The developers of this game really dropped the ball because Neo 2 had a perfect, like, select all, send to storehouse. I can't believe they don't have that in this newer game. A game that's like 3 years newer doesn't have basic features. Anyway, armor. There's all this stuff. Okay, I'm gonna keep those. This is awful. So someone has to sit here for like 10 minutes and manually send all these items into the storehouse? How is there no select all feature? That's unacceptable. Anyway, I guess, hold on. So we're down to 260. All right, we should have enough space. I guess level 62. Let's just continue the story. The Way of the Warrior. Level 67. The IMC is letting you run DDR5 at 8200. These two.
Demons lie in the wait. Be ready.
Demons lie in the wait. What's my weapon is +6. This thing's only +5. Maybe I should see if I could level up my weapon again. Yeah. Yeah. Only 7,800. Only 7,800. Okay. So I can upgrade my
Overworking.
dual halberds to plus that. Iron septum. Okay, the two weapons are now +6 or +7. Wait a minute. I can level this up for free? Required nothing? That's interesting. I can level these up twice. +7. I can get these leveled up too, though. Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. So I can get... I'm able to level up a couple of these things for free. That's cool. You're trying to overclock? You think it's not worth it? Well, we just... After what was said a few days ago... I guess I can essentially keep leveling up this armor. And this will probably get me through the new game cycle without any problems. There was another set too. Oh, this one. The green one. See, as soon as it prompts me for required material, then I don't upgrade it anymore. But as soon as... That's actually pretty good. So I guess it's based off of the highest leveled weapon. You can level up this pre-order armor to match the highest level weapon. So now I have like 3 sets that are +7. That's cool. So I guess it recommends that you have +7 for the weapons. My range weapons are actually really weak, though. Actually, let's try to level up the range.
Welcome.
10, 8, 50. What's SP 57 mean? Oh, that's the thing for the Wait, I can get the bamboo bow. Do I have a better bow? Oh well. This is rank 6. This is a 1-star crossbow. You know what? I'm not gonna level that up because I don't even rely on that. In the BIOS on some Asus motherboards, they give you a silicon perspective. How accurate is that, though? I mean, what is that even... How do they... I think we talked about this previously, but I think all they do is they measure the amount of voltage that processor is using. The sub voltages. If the voltages are lower, then it considers it better quality. Let's see, status 448 on the second weapon. That's this one? Okay. Wait a minute. So these weapons scale mostly off of fire. Fire and metal. Or earth. Fire and earth. Well, I don't have a lot of earth. So you might need to put some more points into earth. Maximum equipment weight. Gonna have to level up like 5 times to be at the recommended for this place. Which means we'll probably level up pretty quickly. Since we're going in, I'm going in severely underleveled. What the? Oh, it's a spider. That's a big one down there. Oh boy. Hold on. No, get off of me. Get off of me. Uh-oh. I forgot the controls. What's... Okay, this is block. What's heal? Alright. I healed us all up, boys. I don't remember the controls at all. This is what happens when you don't play these type of games for like a month. I know block is L1. Okay, hold on. It's coming back to me. It's coming back to me. It's kind of not... It's... Oh, I forgot how to parry. What was the button again? Oh, it's that one. Hold on. This guy needs help. Get up! Alright, hold on. I gotta get Liu Bei up. Can somebody help me get rid of this? Get rid of her? Okay, good. She died. I think Gigabyte has a similar thing. What do you mean? If it does, I don't know where it is. I don't know how I didn't die there. I know I wasted all my healing items. Oh, there's a big tiger. Is the stream lagging or is it just me? I haven't dropped any frames. I haven't been notified of any sort of connection issue. Oh, here's the way back up. So this is where we entered the forest. This place has a lot of tree branches. It's very green. Oh, I forgot something. Throwing knife. With only one healing item, I'd like to avoid the tiger. I might not have a choice. I think we are going to have to take it out. It's 4, though. It's going to be tough. Here we go. Is that thing missing a limb? Get him. Got him. Okay. Tiger's dead. So I guess we just go down here. We're in... My whole group is in bad shape. There's another tiger. Man, halberds in this game, I don't know. I haven't tried all the weapons. Halberds and hammers are just really good. So I forgot... What's the button to switch? Okay, it's... Alright, here's the spear. Here's the spear weapon. There's a tiger. Prefer not to fight it if possible.
It's safe to say Cao Cao has taken a liking to you, brother. Otherwise, there's no way he'd come out this far, leading his forces himself. Enough, Ida. As things stand, we are once more wanderers with no domain. How do you think we can fight against the limited Xiao allying with us? Your modesty knows no bounds, does it? Surely it wouldn't hurt to say it as it is. Though, I suppose this is part of why you're bound to end up our era's greatest hero.
Tiger seal. That's good. Hold on. I want to check if that tiger... Oh, there's another path around here. Oh! Okay, I found something. There was a secret thing over here. So you go to the left. Get up here. See, there's like a thing right there. And then if we drop down, the tiger's down there. I don't think it's guarding anything. I don't think there's really a reason to fight it. So we'll just avoid it for now. All right, let's go. See, the difference between this game and playing like Hogwarts, Hogwarts is so much easier to play. Like, it doesn't demand constant attention like this game, so it's easier to engage with the audience when playing that type of game. I think that's why I think people prefer those type of games. These games are more about... Oh, we have an invader. Oh, wow, okay. Thing with this game is you have to constantly pay attention to the game. You can't just kind of like... Well, I guess I could try talking about computer hardware. I don't know how good that conversation will go. Alright, there's like a... Oh, it's one of those monkey things. I'm gonna get this guy over here. Get this guy to like... Get him to come over here. Oh, he died. Okay. Get this one. That guy's gonna throw... Really? He's gonna throw a little fireball at me? Alright, that one died. Alright, I guess we're gonna go fight this thing. Or let's try to sneak past. Let's try to get behind him. See if oh wow, I can actually skip behind him. Ha! Wow, okay. That was pretty easy. The NPC's like, nobody can stop us. Is the game audio too quiet? I'll turn it up a little bit so you guys can hear better. I can almost level up. See, there's hidden stuff because the thing about these type of games, you have to constantly be thinking of how you could land anywhere, or you could get to any point in the game, like on the level. See, there might be an alternative path going around the side like this. Detox jerky? What? My allies walked right through the enemy. They didn't sound an alarm or anything. That's kind of cool. You can like stealth through this though, because this is gonna put me behind them. Well, actually, what I want to do is I want to get that one. There's an enemy up there. There's no easy way over there. Whatever. Well, actually, there might be something inside there. I do need to go inside there. In terms of streaming quality, how does the 7000 encoder fare with the... In what? In terms of, like, HEVC? Oh wait, no, this is the entrance.
We must reclaim our territory post haste.
In terms of HEVC, I think the AMD one... Well, see, I don't know much about the NVIDIA one at all for HEVC. For HEVC, the AMD one is actually the best one. But for H.264, the NVIDIA one is the best one. Because you almost never hear of, oh, I can't take this. You normally can't, you never hear of X265 or H265 on NVIDIA. Like, no one ever uses it on NVIDIA. It's not that they can't. It's just for some reason, the old school AVC, NVIDIA put a lot of their efforts into AVC, which I actually think was a smart move. H.265 is HEVC. H.264 is AVC. So for H.264, NVIDIA's encoder is the best one. For H.265, you know, I haven't really seen a lot of comparisons. I probably could do some comparisons, but I know that AMD's one is very good. I think, well, there isn't really any, you can't really find any comparisons out there comparing H.265 quality. That might actually be a good video for me to do then. One thing I do know is that RTX 30 series encoder is the same as the RTX 20 series encoder. Likewise, the RTX 40 series has the exact same encoder. What that means is that if you have a 2060, or like a, let's say 2070, 2070, 3070, 3080, 4090, 4070, all of them will have the exact same quality on H.264. There is no difference between any of those three. Basically, NVIDIA stopped optimizing their encoder from Turing onwards. H.265 is supposed to be the same quality, half the file size. I've never heard that. It is supposed to be the same quality at a smaller file size, but I've never heard half the file size. I think that's an exaggeration. Because from my own testing, that's not what I observed. It wasn't half the file size. Now, I don't know, maybe if we're talking like 4K video, maybe that's where the differences will start showing up. So NVIDIA only added AV1 for the RTX 40 series. The only difference between 40 series and the two previous generations is the addition of AV1 on the 40 series. But in terms of the quality for HEV, or not HEVC, H.264. H.264 quality on NVIDIA has been the same since the 20 series generation. There has been no changes. So the only thing that the 40 series can do that the older ones can't is AV1. In terms of quality, someone can use a 2080, and someone else can use a 3080, and someone else can use a 4080, and all three of them will result in the exact same image quality for H.264. There's no difference. The AMD one, I don't know. I have to go back and look, because a lot of what I'm telling you is based off of Netflix score, the Netflix scoring system for the encoder quality. Oh man, there's a big guy over there. What's that? Oh shit. Wish I could get up here. Oh, we're gonna have to kill this guy over here. He's a level 8. Oh, so he's... Okay, here he comes, here he comes. Alright, something is casting spells at me, and that messed me up. Because I was supposed to get this guy. Alright, it's this thing. The cool thing about this game, the enemy casters are nowhere near as powerful as casters in their other games. Do you use the paid or free version of I use the free version of DaVinci. The only thing really that DaVinci Studio adds is, I think, multi-GPU encoding. So you can like encode. You can encode on more than one GPU, but it's like how common is it for someone to need that, right? Like you would need a Threadripper workstation, or you would need, well, you'd have to install a second GPU in the system. Oh, I can level up. Yeah, I should probably do that. Faster yeah, well, yeah, I've read that it's faster. But I don't know, because maybe. The thing is, I don't know, those stories of the paid one encoding faster, the person who was using that, or like stating that, they had like a pretty old computer, so it's, I don't know. But that's +2. We'll take another in Earth. I guess we can go this way. Well, let's get this guy. Whoa! Oh, you know what? The stupid casters interrupting me with lightning spells again. Get him. But I think you're right. I don't know how much... See, I don't know how much faster it is if you have a very fast computer to begin with. What's in here? Oh, just a storeroom. Okay. There's probably some other things that you get in that version. Oh, there's somebody up there on the wall. Oh, there's a way for me to get on the wall too, huh? Look at that. I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing that. That's like going the long way or something. Check this out. Oh, I fell down. I didn't make the jump, and now there's someone spamming lightning on me. Get this dog out of here. I remember. Does everybody remember like the Elden Ring memes? The dog. They would put the comment for dog, even though it was a turtle. And then there was the whole is that a cat in a hat? Remember that? Does everybody remember that stuff? This is all Elden Ring like memes. Dog, like anytime someone would see a turtle, they would put the comment dog right next to it. And there was that, I remember there was this I don't know what this movie or commercial it was from, but there's some Italian guy going like, is it a cat? And then like the farmer was like, that's a turtle. Or something like that. Is it a cat in a hat? I don't remember the full thing. It was hilarious though when that meme first came out. That was the most hilarious meme for a good while. All right, I guess there's nothing else.
My ancestor, Emperor Gatsu, is interred here, the Gatsu Mausoleum. He started from scratch, but pushed ahead no matter how many battles he lost. And by triumphing over his rivals Xiang Yu, the
Wait,
hegemon
how do
king,
we?
he succeeded in founding the Han Empire at last.
Is there a?
You seem surprised.
Oh, you have to come. You have to get in from under under it. Get the dog. You use Intel iGPU? So are you streaming on what platform though? Streaming on what platform? Because for YouTube with RTMPS, it used to be that you would be using HLS if you wanted to stream in H.265 on YouTube. But they recently rolled out, rolled out RTMPS, which allows you to stream using, well, you can use H.265 now on RTMPS instead of having to use HLS. From what I understand, RTMPS is better for lower latency, so meaning there's less of a delay between you from the time you see a comment versus HLS, which is supposed to be higher quality, but from my testing, I haven't really noticed much of a difference. But they say that HLS is more for like watching streams that are live contents of things that are not supposed to be interacting with an audience. So think of like CES press conferences and that sort of thing. That's kind of what HLS would be more well suited for, and it can benefit from HEVC instead of the ancient H.264. What? Those two are both almost dead. They both must have fallen in the river. Oh, you use H.264. You know you can use H.265. You can use H.265 for YouTube. I mean, that's what I'm using. It will result in better image quality at lower bitrate. Oh. There's a thing here. There's a shortcut. Well, it connects us back here, but where's the, Oh, I see. So it connects us back to this one? Okay. What graphics card do you use? Because I know you have the Intel 10th generation 10850. Whoa, what the... What is that? There's a giant, like, statue in there. These two guys are almost dead. Alright, let's see if we can sneak around it. That's a level... Oh, it's a 10. Okay, but it's guarding the next checkpoint, so we are gonna have to kill it. I guess we could practice on this thing.
What on earth am I doing? Yeah, I owe you one. Thanks.
Get those two up. This thing's creepy. It's like walking to me all slow, like it's from Resident Evil. How do you parry it? It seems like it's not parryable. Okay, yeah, it is. It's just very slow. There's like a tiger. Oh, there's a treasure chest back there. Okay. We have to get this tiger out of the way. Ouch. Well, I still managed to get the thing. Goodbye. I thought I could run in and just like grab the loot and just not fight the tiger at all. That did not happen. Is there like a secret entrance or something? Ooh, now we're behind this thing. Ah, we are gonna have to fight it. Okay, so this is a mini boss. Summon the dragon.
Yeah, I owe you one.
There. That was actually very easy. That thing did not do much at all. It was too big and slow. Alright.
Down through here, we can get to any part of the city. Emperor Gaozu should forgive us, given we're
Wait, Dragon Vein Crystal? Increases the usage limit of Dragon's Cure by 1? Oh. So that means I can get 8 of those now. Yeah, now we got 8. That's huge. It's a massive upgrade. Alright, I'm still missing a lot of the banners. I wonder if pierce weapons are better against these things. You know what? Let's try the spear. Let's try the spear. Okay, that didn't work. That was dumb. That was really dumb. I start swinging the spear in front of him. That range, though, does come in handy. I've gotten so used to using the, Ooh. Got so used to using the halberds, though. Man, this weapon's pretty good too. I'm not gonna lie, this spear weapon's pretty cool.
Let them go free. Why they would do that is beyond me. Indeed.
I can see an enemy on patrol through that crack in the wall.
But even so, my overriding emotion is joy at having my family safe.
Ooh. Huh. Fail. Massive fail. Just shot 2 arrows at that patrol guy. They didn't even notice, and they both missed. I don't know what all that was about. There's some random, like, assassin just sitting there. Must have been crouched down or something. I didn't even notice him attacking me. This guy's super high level, 16. Oh, I juggled this guy in the air. Oh, we can level up now. Perfect timing. Raining. It's raining in the game. It probably is raining outside. Man, Liu Bei's got... Liu Bei's got high morale right there. You can just do that cheesy attack, just jump. Number of cure pots is maxed out. Okay, that's such a random place. Random drop. That's such a random drop. Because we're right next to a save point. Let's go over here and check. Ooh. Game looks pretty good. This game is pretty fun. Okay, we got some guy in armor, level 18. We're gonna have to get the jump on him. Oh, there's an assassin. Wait, hold up, boy. Time out. Big guy. Oh, they got him.
Nobody can stop us.
Alright. That guy was guarding this save. Man, that was worth 2. Okay, the lowest I can go now is 17. That opens back to the outside. Now I need to check the other side. I knew there'd be something over here. These fights get pretty chaotic, but with these two allies, though, this game does seem like it is the easiest one. Well, at least the first playthrough is very manageable because you get a lot of these NPC allies. I could tell this game would be a lot harder if I did not have those two AI to distract the enemies. Alright, so now I'm just missing 2 of the banner. I've got all 6 of the save points. I just need to find the 2 missing banners. Ooh, there's like another hidden room over here. Ooh, that guy's got halberds. Oh wait, we were in here already. Oh yeah, this is where we came through from underneath. So, okay, so that means... Does this open? Ah, see, there's a hidden thing over there. That guy just got himself back into a corner. Well, well, well. What is this? We just like walked right into this. Ooh, that hurt. Lots of arrows. Rank 8 leather. What else we got? This has to go outside. There has to be a way to get out there to that thing. Huh? What? Alright, so we're only missing 1. I think I have a feeling I'm close to the boss fight, which means I'd have to backtrack pretty far to get that one. So we'll probably, well, we'll see, because I kind of think we're sort of toward the end here. Can almost level up. What level am I? Level 64. They recommend that you be level 67 for this this level.
Our final battle is close. However hard it may be, we will prevail and reclaim the city.
Okay, I think this is it. I think this is gonna be the boss fight. So I'm not gonna go in there yet. Wait a minute, hold on. Yeah, I think this is the boss fight. So he said our final battle is close. So I'm probably gonna have to run back and find the... Well, we're at 20 morale, so... I guess let's just go do the boss fight. Yeah, I knew it was a boss fight.
A warrior risks his life for his duty. I will not step down.
They try to make this
For what
story
purpose
seem
do you wager your life?
overly dramatic.
Give me your answer.
Whoa.
Blade.
All right, I'm going halberds for this. Whoa, that lightning. Almost died. Oh, I died. Wow. So if I get the final little checkpoint thing, then I can't go below 20 morale. Video keeps pausing?
Give me your answer with your blade.
Man, he does a lot of lightning damage. The video keeps pausing? It doesn't tell me that there's anything wrong.
I look forward to toasting our victory.
Hold on. I think I need... Well, I haven't been using my magic spells. I just realized that.
Give me your answer with your blade.
You mean like it's buffering?
Give me your answer with your blade. Trusted me with this city. I shall defend it to the death.
Wow, that hurts. Oh, I died. It stops playing and has a pause icon? Yeah, I don't know what's causing that. May have to grind some levels. Man, I should have actually tried to get level 60.
Give me your answer with your
We're at 44. Wow, if you don't parry that, you basically die unless you block it. I think if you block, you take a lot of damage.
Give me an answer with your blade.
Yeah. Okay. I need to play more seriously now. So he's using lightning. What counters lightning? I think water beats or ice beats fire or fire beats ice. Oh, no. Fire, wood. Wood beats water. Fire beats, no, water. Wait, this is water. Yeah, water beats fire. So this guy's lightning. Which means he's metal?
Give me your answer with your blade.
I shall defend it to the death.
Oh, what the? Wow. This boss fight doesn't seem that hard. You just have to parry him correctly. That seems like that's the thing about this game. It's like that's all they want you to do.
Give me your answer with your blade.
See, you get rewarded so much for parrying the enemy. See that? Yeah, but the thing about this game though is a little bit too punishing. Okay, so all he does is lightning attacks. You break his lightning by filling up his stagger gauge, and then he can regain it.
Give me your answer with your blade.
Maybe I should go look for that missing banner. Nah, I don't think it's really needed.
Give me your answer with your blade.
Wow, okay. So running back doesn't work. Maybe dodging into him.
Give me your answer with your blade.
May have to learn some lightning resist spell.
Blade.
Out of the way, fools! Think you can stand up to our combined might?
General Liu entrusted me with this city. I shall defend it to the death.
Whoa, that is so cheap. So, okay, so the second phase, he changes his moveset. He gains like a spear style stab. See, the reason why some people don't like... The reason why this isn't for everybody is because people don't like the trial and error aspect of this game. Like having to learn the pattern over and over again. I don't know what happened there.
I shall defend it to the death.
Man, that is so cheesy. Wow. That is such a cheesy attack. Alright, we're gonna grind. We're gonna go grind, because that's annoying. We're going to 25 morale. What the heck is this? What was that? Alright, this will also make me level up. So we're just gonna kill all these soldiers again and again. What the heck?
Yeah, I owe you one. Thanks.
Maybe I should actually go and find the missing banner. We're going to 25. So we're just going to keep on doing this until... By the time I'm level 20 or morale 25, I'll be able to level up. What do you need? Yeah, we're about to level up. We just need to kill like one more enemy. There we go. And there's the level. I'm probably gonna take spirit gained when deflecting an attack. No, I think I am gonna take this one. The other thing too that I should do is I should check wizardry spells. Like, what's the lightning? Oh, wood is lightning. Wood is lightning. So is there like a lightning resistance technique? I'm not sure. Maybe one of these other trees. Earth. Reduces spirit damage received. Unleashes a shockwave that they'll blow away near someone's a rock pillars explode. This one. Oh, I have the enhanced defense. Oh, I can't use that. See, okay. I guess I will put the rock one. Force blow unleashes an attack using the power of Earth. Try enhanced defense. All right, let's keep going until we're at 25. Wow, that was cool. They got me to 24. All right, one more. There we go, maxed out. Let's do it. Oh, you know what? I should wear armor that gives me better resistance to, like, okay, so which one is wood? This one. Okay. This gives me the most resistance to wood, which I think is the lightning one. By who? All right, I think this one has the best resistance. All right, now we are doing this with the correct.
Give me your answer with your blade.
There we go. Now we're doing better.
I shall defend it to the death.
Okay, interesting. Gotcha.
Defeat. Very well. I will not beg for my life. Kill me!
There he is! Defeat the enemy general, Zhang Liao!
Why are you... I've roamed this land with beasts.
Hey, Med Prism.
Honing my
I think this
blade
game put the other two to sleep.
in search of what makes a warrior. Now,
Oh, looks like Joey's still here.
finally come upon an answer.
I thought you guys hadn't said anything in a while. I thought you guys
Lose our
like
lives in battle.
got bored of the stream because it's just Wolong Fallen Dynasty.
A warrior fights for something that they can't bear to lose.
Is there a reason why? There's no reason. I mean, I just
talked to
don't.
General Liu.
I haven't really played
He
much
was
of
a
it.
true warrior among warriors. If my life were to end today,
At some point, that'll really be the only game that I need to focus
except
on.
maybe wishing
This
that I
game's
had no
story is
memory
actually very boring. Yeah.
such high caliber was in our midst.
The game is fun to play. It's just kind of, I guess, I don't know. For people who like action games, I think it's fun to watch. The story's really lame though. It's very generic. It's literally just like it's the exact same thing that we saw in Neo 2. It's the exact same thing. The story is just a big excuse to kill a bunch of dudes. That's basically all it is. And just go and rampage across ancient China.
Sheathe your weapons.
Cao Cao arrived again. It's always him. He's the only one that actually seems to do anything. All the other political figures in this game do nothing. They literally just stand around. Or talk about how they're hungry or something.
How about you? Surrender and serve the Imperial Court.
Have mercy on my men. Then I will pledge allegiance with no objection.
On the phone with an earpiece and watching a Da
Lu
Vinci
Bu is making
tutorial
a final
on
stand at
TV.
Shapi. You had best come with us.
This is so generic. This story is so generic.
My brother is.
I am a man of honor, so I can't tell you everything now.
So now we got this guy as an ally. So we're able to summon him into battle. Alright. I don't know, these type of action games, I feel like they're very hit or miss. Sometimes they're really good, sometimes they're just really
Yes, my lord.
like they're a good B.
It would appear, Minister Cao.
This game is,
you
to
have
me,
many
this game is kind of
talented
like an
men
8 out of
serving you.
10.
However,
For a fan of
why does Lu Bu
action
not use the
games,
elixir?
this game's story doesn't do anything for me. It's a retelling of like every single Dynasty Warriors game.
What? This sound?
Wait a minute, water. Oh, water in the snow. Lu Bu.
At last.
So it's gonna be Lu Bu again. So I guess this next chapter of Lu Bu's, yeah, okay, Lu Bu's gonna be the villain again, or the boss at the end of this chapter. So,
The demonic chi here is even denser than it was at Puyang and Xiaopei. Could this be the sign of something bad on the way?
I don't know, but I need to level up. I like how we just start at the top of a destroyed fortress or whatever this is supposed to be.
We must defeat Lubu here and stop the chaos.
Bring back Hogwarts Legacy.
Hurting some innocent citizens. I decided to go ahead with our plan to devastate the city by flooding it.
Hold on, I'm severely underleveled in this game. Level 65. I guess we'll get 10 on Earth. Level 66. So if we look at this, so technically this mission that I'm about to do, which I'm probably not gonna do, we're probably done with this game for now. Level 73. It's telling me that the recommended level is 73, and I'm only level 66. So, you know, we are severely underleveled going into this. So yeah, that tends to be a common theme with this game since I've started playing it. I always feel like well, it makes sense because they want you to level up, I guess. But it seems like the gap in level just grows wider and wider. And I don't know why it's always a snow level. Any level with snow, I always end up being way underleveled. Like the Battle of Hulao, this one was the first time we fought Lubu. It's recommended level 37. I think it was like level 26. I think I was like 11 levels under the recommended. And that's the reason why that was ridiculous. So I basically had to grind levels to get to the recommended level, so I was able to beat him. But now we're again underleveled a lot. Because that last one, the one I just did, was level 67. We're just now hitting level 66. And now it's like they keep moving the goalpost. Now it's level 73. I don't know how close I am to the end of this game. I would assume that they want you to finish the new game cycle around level 100. Maybe level 110. So we're about 2/3 of the way through. Probably. I think we're entering the game's third act, story-wise. I'm guessing the second fight with Lubu is the end of Act 2, and then Act 3, in terms of story, takes off after this. So, but anyway. Okay, so let's see. Do we want to discuss, do I have paint open? Paint's open, but I don't really have any specific topics to discuss unless somebody else has something they want to talk about. I know, Joey, you want to start filming videos and stuff. Video editing, I think, is going to be the most important part. In fact, I need to actually get better at video editing myself. Alright. Let me exit out of this game, I guess. We may go to Hogwarts Legacy if, oh wait, you know what? Before I do that, let's go back to the village. Hades wants to bring back Hogwarts Legacy. I just thought of something that we could talk about. Not really. Hold on, how do I... Oh. They're both about the same in terms of what you can do with applications. I like DaVinci Resolve because DaVinci Resolve is free. And it's actually... I used to use Movie Studio 10 or 9 or something, or no, Movie Studio 12. I can't remember exactly what version it was that I used, but let's see here. So the three big ones, hold on, what happened here? Oh. So the three big ones that I know of are, Whoops, it's always the wrong color. What? Why is it? What happened here? Okay. DaVinci Resolve is free. Hold on. And what's the other two? So Adobe, there's actually a ton of them. There's a ton of them. In fact, I have another one that I was trying to use. It's called Cyberlink Power Director 15. Cyberlink is one. It's not even that good though. So you know, realistically, I'm only gonna list the big three that I know of. So, Adobe Premiere, and the other one that I know of is Final Cut. Final Cut Pro. Oh, Power Director. So the only reason why I'm mentioning Cyberlink Power Director is because the AverMedia capture card that I bought like 2 years ago or whatever, it had a free license key for Power Director. I have Power Director 15, Cyberlink Power Director, and Cyberlink Screen Recorder 15, so both. So DaVinci Resolve, Adobe Premiere, those are the big ones. Okay. Wait, what happened here? Why is this there? Yeah, those are the three big ones that I know of. But there's a lot. Like Power Director. Oh, the other one, I guess, Sony? Why is this thing like this? Or I guess it's called Vegas. Vegas Pro. I mean, there's a bunch. There's Movie Studio. There's Power Director. I mean, is Windows Movie Maker still a thing? Is that still a thing, or is that gone? That's the one. Hold on, let me see. Is that even in here? Windows Movie Maker's gone. Yeah, it's not in here anymore. So I guess that ended with Windows 7. So I guess we'll remove that one. Yeah. So basically, we'll remove these two. Because those two are not fully featured. These are the ones that I think are the fully featured ones. Although I haven't really kept up with Vegas in a very, very long time. So I don't even really remember. I don't know what the latest version is. I haven't used it. I used to use something called Movie Studio Vegas, which was the watered down, amateur edition of Vegas Pro. And then I guess Sony sold Movie Studio to some other entity, and then it became Movie Studio Platinum, and then I was using that for a number of years until I switched to DaVinci Resolve. So Final Cut Pro is good, but it's Apple only, as Joey just mentioned. So it is really good though, and I think, well, Adobe Premiere and Final Cut are the two. If you look far out into the professional world, I think these two are the two largest ones. I think a couple years ago, Vegas was like the third biggest one. And then DaVinci Resolve has been gaining a lot of market share in this space for quite a while. But I do think that Final Cut and Adobe are still the biggest ones by a wide margin. Probably Adobe Premiere is the largest one. For one thing, it works on Windows and Mac, and it has a lot more than just Adobe Premiere. So there's the stuff for like Photoshop, and there's the ones for After Effects and those sort of things. So it's like a full thing. Final Cut Pro is very, very good, or I guess Final Cut, but it's only available on Apple. So it is Apple's proprietary software. Apple only. So it's a good one though, from what I've heard. In fact, it's so good that a lot of professionals, so you guys have to understand, a lot of video editors and professionals, they actually use Final Cut Pro on a daily basis because they like it a lot. So don't ask me why. I don't really know. I'm not an Apple person. But the key thing about it is it only works on Apple because it's Apple's proprietary software. So it works really good. And I know, like, you can build a Hackintosh, and I guess it will work. I've never bothered to do that, so I don't really know the extent of how well it will work on a Hackintosh. I assume it's probably fine. But these other two are probably the main ones that I would recommend for anybody getting into video editing. At least from my point of view, I don't really have a lot of experience with Adobe Premiere. I haven't used Adobe software for more than 10 years. So I'm really, really out of the loop on Premiere. I just know, talking to a lot of people that do video editing, that there's a lot to it, and there's a lot of integrations with Adobe's other software, and that's why it's so good. DaVinci Resolve is a really great, like, editing software. It supports a lot of codecs. It can encode in a lot of codecs. It supports MKV. So you're not just limited to, you know, like old school AVI and MP4, MPEG, all those sort of old school standards. So it's very robust. So I really like it, especially because using the free version, I can't really tell, other than, you know, potentially the studio version making the render times quicker. From what I can tell, the free version of Resolve is amazing. So, and I like how Blackmagic Design has how their ecosystem is kind of growing the same way that Elgato has grown and grown and grown in the streamer space. So if you buy a Blackmagic Design, like if you buy one of their Red cameras, I think, I don't know if you have to buy a specific model or if it applies to every one of their cameras, but essentially if you get one of their cameras, you do get the license for DaVinci Resolve Studio, so the paid version, which is really nice. So there is that. Adobe doesn't really have like the camera advantage, or they don't really have their hardware. Adobe is primarily software only, whereas DaVinci Resolve is a software, but it's owned by Blackmagic Design, and Blackmagic Design makes things like, they do make some capture cards. I used to use a Blackmagic Intensity Pro. It was terrible. So because of that bad experience with them in the past, I don't really bother using their stuff. After that, I switched to AverMedia, and then I tried Elgato. I have like one USB Type 3 or USB 3.0 based capture card from Elgato, which is okay, but it has audio distortion every now and then. So I've never really liked any of the kind of cheap capture cards, with the one exception being AverMedia. And they were always relatively affordable until 4K became a thing. And the 4K capture cards, when they first came out, they're really expensive. But if you were to get one now, you know, they're kind of around that sub $200 price point. So 4K 60 is a lot more affordable than it was in the past. DaVinci is much faster than Adobe, and Adobe keeps crashing quite often. I don't know where you're hearing that. I've never heard that. I've never heard about stability problems with Adobe. What I've heard is Adobe Premiere is the industry standard, so it's the most used one by market share. Final Cut Pro is probably second, but it's Apple only. And then DaVinci, well, you know what? I don't know. Honestly, I really don't know. I kind of think Resolve and Vegas, I don't know too much about this space. I don't want to consider myself an expert by any means of video editing or the kind of like editing profession. I just know that Adobe Premiere is the one that's the most used. Now, who's second and third or fourth, I have no idea. I don't really know how important it is. But the DaVinci Resolve has grown a lot over the years. You've watched about 10 videos in the last week on Adobe versus DaVinci, and a lot of the professional video editors are switching over to DaVinci. Adobe has had a decade of crashes. Really? Okay. Well, I wasn't aware of that, so... Yeah, DaVinci Resolve is very good in the sense that it opens up, like you launch it on your computer, and it's relatively quick to start up. You save the video. If you need to close out of it and then reopen it, when you close out of it, it closes out really fast. I really like that about it. It doesn't take forever to close out of the application and then relaunch it if you need to. Vegas was very slow at rendering. In fact, I think the free or the cheap like $20 version of Vegas, aka Movie Studio, that one never did any GPU encoding. It was only CPU encoding unless you had the paid version like Vegas Pro. And I don't know anything about the professional version of Vegas because I never used it, so can't really comment on that one. So if anybody watching the stream, if you guys are familiar with Vegas, please let me know your experience, because I've always liked Sony Vegas software, but the thing is, you have to basically get the really, really expensive one, which is like, yeah, no. So I think Resolve is kind of the new up and coming, and it's according to what Joey just said, it could be the best one. So it also helps me particularly that DaVinci Resolve does very well with Radeon graphics cards. So from what I know, actually, let's kind of look. Let me see if I can find that article. Let me see if they have this. Yeah, so this is kind of what I was going to say. Wait, extended overall. Let's see. So this is going to blind people. Oh, let me make sure it's in the right one. Okay, everyone's going to get blinded by this website, but that's too bad because there's no... So the Puget bench for DaVinci Resolve, the extended overall score. So this is kind of their results. I don't know what they use. I don't know. I probably need to look into getting access to this, whatever they do to test this. But essentially, like for me, DaVinci Resolve is kind of a no-brainer because of the graphics card that I'm using. The XTX performs really, really well. It's basically the same as a 4090 overall. Now, if we look at some of these other tests here, so GPU effects, the Radeon card is only as good as 4080 and 3090 Ti. And the 4090 does a lot better. But again, this is an apples to oranges comparison because we're talking about a average price $1,800 graphics card versus like a $1,000 to $1,100 graphics card. And so yeah, the fact that this one's kind of really good overall. That if we look at the H.264 or H.265 to DNX HDR, or I don't know what this means because I don't ever use DNXHR. I guess I need to learn what that is. Literally, the way I always edit my videos, if I'm shooting a video on camera, like if I'm using a camera, for example, I'll give you guys a good example. If I'm doing the review or the unboxing of like for instance, a processor like the 7950X3D that I recently did, back when it launched, what I'll do is I'll shoot the video using my camera. I have a Sony camcorder. It's an old one. It has a hard drive in it. It's super old. It's like 12 years old or whatever. It does 1080p 60. So it's a 1080p 60 native, and I believe it saves the video to MPEG. So it's MPEG that I'm working with. And I can render that from DaVinci Resolve into MP4 or, whatever I want. In the case for YouTube, I typically do MP4 and then I just upload it. So this stuff about taking an H.264 encode and then, transcoding it into DNXHR. I don't know what DNXHR is. I think that's DaVinci Resolve's raw format or editing format, which supposedly I'm guessing it makes scrubbing the timeline a lot smoother. So I don't know what else it's used for. So if anybody is more familiar with editing videos than me, please let me know, because I have no idea what DNxHR is used for. And this is what I assume these are like frames per second. These numbers are frames per second, FPS. I don't like how it says score. They should just say FPS higher is better, so people don't know what this, like people can figure out what this means. Okay, and then this one, red slash raw to DNxHR. Again, this is so okay. This I understand. So red is the format, the raw format, or I guess raw, red, and then the raw one. To this is the format that is recorded on a red camera, which is a Blackmagic Design camera. And remember what I just said earlier, Blackmagic Design is the owner of DaVinci Resolve. So look now at the DaVinci Resolve they have. It's a score. It's not. Are you sure it's not a FPS? Because these look like FPS numbers to me. And because what this is when they do the conversion, when they're doing that transcode conversion, the speed at which it's happening is the FPS. It's basically the FPS over time. So this is basically a geomean, a geometric average of these things. So what is this one again? This is the one that the 40 series did better in. Oh, this is GPU effects. Okay. So basically it's kind of the same as the other ones in that price range. So you can kind of see the point that I'm trying to make here is DaVinci Resolve does really well with the new Radeon cards. Look at the bottom. Okay, here's you're saying look at the bottom for what? Oh, you mean way down here? What is this? What am I supposed to be looking for? I don't see anything at the bottom. Well, anyway, the point is, if we look here, so this is basically DaVinci Resolve. Now, if we look at Adobe Premiere, this is Premiere Pro. So in here, the GeForce cards are doing better. And this is the reason why. Yeah, no, I know it says score, but those, like this is a score. I'm guessing that other number, okay, this is a score. This is a score, yes. But this is an FPS. This is an FPS because when you're rendering a video in Resolve, you can kind of tell how fast it's rendering by the elapsed time or time remaining and the FPS. So the frames per second as it's doing a transcode or a render is what this number is. So, no, just under the last bar it says, yeah, no, I know. But the thing is, that's just because Puget said score instead of writing the FPS there. So this is a score. This is an FPS. This is an FPS. This is a, I don't know what this is. GPU effects score. This I might be an FPS, but also be a score. This looks like an FPS to me because DaVinci Resolve does use decimal numbers. It actually uses decimal numbers to the nearest tenth when it is rendering. But you can see, like, the 7000 series card does really well in DaVinci Resolve. But if we go down to Adobe Premiere, this is the reason why the NVIDIA cards are so dominant in the content creator workspace, or in that ecosystem, because the CUDA acceleration in a lot of these applications, and Adobe Premiere is one example. I mean, if we look at this, the XTX is doing around, it's like what? It's like right between a 3090 and a 3080 Ti. So it's essentially like those. So it's essentially like last generation NVIDIA cards in terms of the overall. Now, if we look at some of these other things, the GPU score is basically the same as what we saw with DaVinci Resolve. And then when we look at well, here's a surprise. So if we're doing a render in H.264 or HEVC, H.265, now it's doing 65 FPS. Wow, that's kind of interesting. So it's doing 65 versus here, they're doing... Oh, but see, I don't know what this is because this is converting to DNX HR, and then this is just a render. So that's cool. So the Radeon card is the fastest one at rendering in Adobe Premiere. But then look at this. So red and raw footage. I'm not sure what this means though. When would you render something to raw? I guess you could, but I don't know why you would, because it's typically going to be a final video is going to be in MP4 or something for upload. It's not going to be going in as red, so it's kind of weird. So, but see, this is the sort of thing though. See, like, there's always this. So, Puget sets up different scenarios for their benchmarks to run, and that is usually their own scoring. Okay, does adding effects to a video use the GPU for processing? So the video is... So when you're rendering the video, that's when the GPU ends up getting used the most. Because it's going to tap into the media encode engine that's built into the GPU. That's what it is. That's basically what this is doing. Now this is rendering in RAW. This is rendering in H.264 or H.265. I don't know why they do H.264/H.265. I kind of think these should be two separate things, because are they doing like are they averaging H.264 and HEVC? Like, that's kind of weird to me. I would rather keep those two separate. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of weird. After Effects. So the thing with this is, overall, it's like basically all of them are the same. Like, anything from a 3080 Ti is above 1300, and no one would really notice the difference between any of these GPUs, including the older RDNA 2 6900 XT. So, and then what is this one? The GPU score. So yeah, see, so I'm not sure what this is though. Like, After Effects GPU score, what does that do? Is this based off of OpenCL or versus CUDA? I don't understand what this is. And then game dev, virtual production, Unreal Engine. So here's the other thing too. Look at Unreal Engine. So Unreal Engine, now this is completely off topic because we're not talking about game development, we're talking about video editing. But here's another thing though. So, like, this is the thing that I've been saying for a number of years now, that AMD really needs to... I don't know what they need to do to, like, work with game developers on engine optimization, because this is kind of... This is sort of the same story. It's almost like AMD always seems to be one generation behind when it comes to this sort of thing. Because if you look at this, the 7000 series is roughly on par with the 30 series. And the 6000 series is roughly on par with the 20 series. So it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is relative. So what are we looking at? We're looking at frames per second. So here, what I find notable about these results is, yeah, this looks like some kind of driver thing. It's the performance in Unreal for whatever these things are, Megascans, Temple Scene, I don't know what this is, to be honest. I don't know what any of these things are. But like, this just tells me that the performance is just not optimized at all for these, for whatever this test is. So yeah. Blender, here's another one. This is another big one. So Blender, again, you know, it's like it's Almost like it's 2 generations behind. I don't know how they tested this though, but what I would assume is this is making use of CUDA acceleration. And the CUDA acceleration is just making all this stuff pull so much further ahead. So, yeah. So basically for content creation, it's good. Like DaVinci Resolve, Radeon on DaVinci Resolve is actually really good. For this stuff though, like I'm not sure exactly like what the problem is here. I have no idea. I would really like to know what the problem is with this, because the finished product doesn't. This isn't representative of a finished game that uses UE4. So I don't know what this is exactly. So, and then Blender, Trying to see what it says here about this. With these sort of things, okay, see, CUDA, this is why. Overall, these results demonstrate the significant difference in performance between the various graphics cards, with NVIDIA holding a clear lead in terms of raw rendering power, thanks to the use of their advanced CUDA and RTX libraries. See, that's the thing. The software development piece is what's making this look the way it does. So, yeah, I don't really know how. It's kind of weird how NVIDIA's managed to grow such a large ecosystem over 15, 20 years. Just about. Because if you look on the Apple side, it's completely different, right? Like, Final Cut isn't even mentioned in this, but you can't even do Final Cut on NVIDIA because it's Apple only. And that's all going to be Radeon. So it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I can show GeForce looking really good in one piece of software, but then, you know, like the flip side is that you can take another piece of software like Final Cut, and that's basically just tailor-made for Radeon. So, you know, that's the thing though. The software investment is a huge deal. But anyway, this is very off topic. But the point is, for me, it's a no-brainer to use DaVinci Resolve because of the hardware that I have. Right? Like, prior to me using... And that's the reason why, like, after I upgraded and I swapped out the 3090 Ti, you can see here, 3090 Ti, 2400. That's not that bad. So, in fact, they're relatively close enough. You're not really going to notice much of a difference in any of these. See, like 39, where's 3090 Ti? 3090 Ti 107, right here 124. So whatever this is, then yeah, it's like there's a bit of a gap there. That was great to see. I guess. Great to see what? DaVinci Resolve results? So anyway, let's go back here. These are kind of the main ones. But I guess we'll remove Vegas because no one really talks about it anymore. And I guess we can remove this too because we're not talking about that either. Oh, the benchmarks. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what... So I guess Joey had mentioned watching DaVinci Resolve tutorials, so I guess that's why we went down this rabbit hole. What else? There was a question earlier, how do I share my screen? That's easy. That's very easy. So, okay. If you want to use... So, okay. There's two pieces of content creation. Editing, or I guess we'll just say video editing. Video editing is one of the two things. So there's video editing, And then the other piece is video production. Like, I guess video recording? How should we differentiate video editing from video production? Because video production is like the whole process. So I guess creating video recording, we'll just say video recording is the other thing, the other, I guess, element of content creation. So there's video editing and there's video recording. I probably should have done it the other way around, because technically you do the recording first and then you do the editing after. You don't do editing first and then you record. That doesn't make any sense. So obviously this is now all backwards. But for video recording, you need to have a few things. Number one, you need to have a camera. You can't get very far with video production if you don't have a way to record your video. So you have to have a camera. This applies to anything, really. So this would be live streaming. Obviously, I have a camera. You guys can see me. But if I was doing a video for YouTube, not necessarily a live stream, I would still need the camera. Like, for example, my earlier example was doing product reviews, right? It doesn't have any product reviews. It could be, whatever. It could be like some meme skit or some talking head video or whatever. You still have to have a camera. So the point is, that's like the most important component is the camera. The other thing that you have to have, which I learned recently, although I already kind of knew about it, I didn't know how important it was, but if you want videos to have good quality, to look good, lighting. Lighting is the other piece. In terms of physical hardware, because we talk a lot about hardware on this channel, PC hardware in particular, but now we're talking about a different kind of hardware. So camera, lighting, these sort of things kind of go hand in hand, but some people might not actually know that. So you kind of need to have cameras or camera. You don't have to have more than one, but it helps to have more than one, because then you can do B-roll and that kind of stuff and not have to mess with your primary camera. So there's that. And then there's the lighting, because the lighting can make or break the success of the video sometimes. And, some of the feedback that I got from my viewers from my older YouTube videos was that I should improve the lighting, or it looked kind of dark, or it was kind of blurry or whatever. So the lighting is a big piece. By the way, the arc dot... What? Talk about a shocking... well, way to interrupt the video there. Intel Arc A770 died. It just straight up died. That's not good. Now you got me worrying about my own. Because I have that in the other computer. In the benchmark computer. So anyway, how did it die? Well, anyway, you can explain if you want. But the point is, you gotta have camera, you gotta have lighting, right? Okay, so that's like step 1 and step 2. Some people tend to ignore lighting. I did for a very long time, and that's probably why the channel is very slow to grow. So when I do product reviews now, I want to be able to film B-roll, and I don't really have the proper equipment to film B-roll. I've got lighting, but I don't have the kind of the rails and stuff that people have to film, to do like a side-by-side like pan the camera across without it being like jittery or having any kind of vertical movement and that kind of thing. So the lighting is one piece. Maybe other other camera accessories might be a thing as well. Yeah, news just in, A770 died. Met's A770 just died. Okay, so the camera and the lighting. The other thing, so if you want to do like live streaming, you need to have the software piece that allows you to record the desktop. So, did I talk about this in the past? I think I mentioned it a few times, but the history, it all started. We'll kind of do a history. I'm not going to spend way too much time on it, but essentially there used to be a program called Adobe Flash Media Live Encoder, I think. Live Encoder, I think was the name of it. Adobe Flash Media Live Encoder was the original, it was the OG original software that you could use. It was free to download, just like, Flash and Adobe Acrobat Reader and all that kind of stuff. So Adobe Flash Media Live Encoder was the original software that you would use if you wanted to live stream. But it was very, very resource intensive, and it was basically terrible. It was a terrible piece of software. And then it got replaced by something made by a startup company based out of the Philippines, I believe. So a company by the name of Split Media Labs. Media Labs. I think that was their name. These guys were a startup based in the Philippines. And so just for reference, I'm talking about the year 2011. This is back in 2011. This was when Twitch.tv used to be called Justin TV. So Split Media Labs created a software application called XSplit. And I think I've talked about this before. But XSplit was the first real piece of software that was free to use initially while it was in open beta. It was in open beta for a long time, for like a year or something. So it was free to use. And this was the piece of software that I think is responsible for allowing game streaming as we know it to exist. This is what started it all. Just found you while searching computer info and good stuff, dude. Hey, Josh, thanks for the comment. Welcome to the channel. So this was the thing that really enabled anybody who had kind of a decent computer. Back then, if you had like an i5 or an FX 8350 or basically like an old Phenom, if you had like a Phenom 6-core or an Intel Nehalem or whatever, you were pretty much set. You could run XSplit very well. But the program that almost everybody, I don't know if it's 100% market share, but I know it's definitely 90 plus, is a program called OBS. So this thing stands for Open Broadcaster Software, also known as OBS. So Open Broadcaster Software was, I believe it started in the year, in the fall 2012. That's how old it is. And the XSplit was sometime in 2011. And so, meaning if you wanted to live stream to the internet in the time prior to 2011, you were forced to use Flash Media Live Encoder, or what's known as FMLE. That's basically what it is. So that's the OG original. And then it became XSplit, and then OBS came out. So what I think happened here, it's kind of tragic for XSplit, because XSplit started out free. When it was an open beta, it was free, and it was very good. There was no login required. Today, XSplit typically wants you to have a login. So that kind of hurts it in my mind. It's almost like when I think of these two, XSplit is basically GeForce Experience and OBS is Radeon settings. That's the way I see it in my own mind, because GeForce Experience requires you to have a login. XSplit today requires you to have a login. Now, it didn't have to require one back in the day when it was new, but for some reason, I guess for security reasons or whatever, and also monetization, primarily monetization. But they claim that it's more secure with the login to be able to authenticate your account, and then you can authenticate your YouTube account or your Twitch account or whatever live service you want to stream to. That's basically how XSplit does it. So These are kind of the two dominant ones, OBS and XSplit. There is another one called, there is a fork of OBS. I'm going to mention this one, but I do not recommend using this one. There is something called Streamlabs. Streamlabs. I do not recommend this on principle because Streamlabs is a very shady company that basically stole, well, okay, I can't say stole because open broadcaster software has always been an open thing. But essentially what Streamlabs did is Streamlabs used to be called Twitch Alerts, and I think they had another name, well, yeah. I think the original name was called Twitch Alerts. So there was this startup based in California back in like 2013, 14. I don't know exactly when Twitch Alerts first arrived on the scene, but they've been around for a long time now, like 10 years or so. But Twitch Alerts has been in so much controversy over the years. Because of how they've sort of abused not only the content creators on Twitch, but the way they've kind of abused the system when it comes to like taking something and claiming that it's their own thing. So the best example I can give you guys is OBS. So OBS, Twitch Alerts, I think they rebranded their company as Streamlabs, and then Streamlabs went and took OBS. They took like the software, all the DLLs and all the source code and everything, because it's all on GitHub. It's all there, open for anyone to see. Any programmer can go look at OBS. They can make their own plugin or whatever they want to do. So essentially, Streamlabs took OBS, then they made their own custom add-ons to it. Then they repackaged it as their own thing and called it, I think they called it open, like Streamlabs OBS or OBS Studio or something like that. They started calling it OBS Studio. I think they stole the name Studio because OBS at some point launched OBS Studio, and then which was a mistake in my mind because there was old school OBS and then there was OBS Studio, which was basically a more fancier looking UI. Which had like the audio dials and stuff already built in and stuff like that. And so Streamlabs basically took OBS Studio, added a bunch of integrations with Twitch Alerts with their back-end thing for like on screen when someone donates or whatever, subscribes or follows, etc. And then they repackaged it and then started advertising it on their own website as like, hey, download our thing. If you want to stream, you need to get our software. But I do not use their software, and I will never use their software, so I'm not even going to list them. So then I think what happened was Streamlabs got purchased by Logitech, if I'm not mistaken. So today Logitech owns, they're like the parent company of Streamlabs. So basically Logitech got into a war, not a war, but kind of like they were competing heavily with Corsair. So Logitech acquired Streamlabs, but Corsair went and acquired Elgato. So Elgato was making all the like the stuff like the Stream Deck and their capture cards, for like console gaming, console streaming, etc. That sort of stuff. And then they were making like plugins for 4K cameras and all these type of little dongles that you could get. So Corsair saw Elgato as kind of like the Apple of the streaming industry. That's kind of like how people view Elgato in the ecosystem. So when Logitech went and bought Streamlabs, Corsair went and saw that as a big threat because like, oh no, Logitech is a big competitor to Corsair, by the way. So when Logitech bought Streamlabs, now they have the kind of the de facto standard service that a lot of streamers use for their alerts on screen, right? So I think what Corsair was like, okay, well, we're gonna stop them by acquiring Elgato, so we will be in the streamer space as well, but we're gonna be on the hardware side, and obviously Elgato has its own software. The other thing too that I want to mention that I forgot to mention is you don't have to use OBS or XSplit. You can use Radeon settings or GeForce Experience. As far as I know, GeForce Experience allows you to stream from within it. I've never used GeForce Experience since the days of the GTX 970, so I can't really confirm that 100%. But I know for a fact you can stream using Radeon settings. Like, Radeon settings can actually let you live stream, and it has like the overlays and everything built in. So you don't have to use any of these software. Well, in fact, like, this one doesn't even exist anymore. But XSplit and OBS, like, if you don't want to use these two, you don't have to. And then of course there's other things too, like Rec Central, which is basically AverMedia's live stream software, and this is their recording / streaming software. So if you buy a AverMedia capture card, for instance, like an Elgato, not Elgato, well, Elgato has theirs too. I mean, so I guess we should mention theirs. Elgato Game, I don't know what theirs is called though. That's the only problem. I think they have one called Game Studio. So Elgato has Game Studio, which is Elgato's live stream software. So there's a whole bunch of them. See, the point I'm trying to make is that there's a lot of options. So if you have a Radeon graphics card, you can live stream without any of these other things. If you have a GeForce graphics card, you can also live stream. So this one has a login just like XSplit. This one, Radeon, does not have a login, just like OBS. So just pointing that out. And then these other ones, as far as I know, they don't have logins either. I know AverMedia doesn't have one. I don't know about Elgato. So there's a lot of different applications to use if you want to live stream to YouTube or just to the internet. So for the longest time, the biggest advantage that XSplit had, and one of the reasons why I used to use XSplit despite OBS pulling further and further ahead of it in terms of the features, was because XSplit allows people or streamers to stream to more than one content delivery network. So for example, if I was using XSplit, I could stream to YouTube as I am right now, but I could also simultaneously stream to Twitch if I wanted. I could stream to Twitch, I could stream to YouTube, I could stream to some other service and another service, and Ustream and Nico, and like, as long as I have the upload bandwidth from my internet service provider, I'm not limited to how many streams I can do using XSplit. And I think that was the biggest advantage XSplit had over OBS. As far as I know, that's still a pretty big advantage. The only problem is what sort of killed that off was people who were Twitch partners. They're not allowed, as far as I know, I think Twitch is kind of changing their policy from what I've heard, but they're not allowed to stream. If you're a Twitch partner, you're not allowed to stream to another streaming service if you're streaming on Twitch. So like if you have a Twitch live stream up, you cannot stream to YouTube at the same time. So that kind of thing really hurt that competitive advantage that XSplit had over OBS for the longest time. So just pointing that out. The other thing too that you may need is, I guess kind of going back to this, is a capture card. This is a very, very useful tool to have. I've talked about this multiple times before, but a capture card does help a lot. In fact, I'm actually using a capture card right now, so you guys can see yours truly on the stream. If I did not have my capture card, then I would not be able to use my Sony Alpha 5100 camera that I'm using right now. So as a webcam. Because I'm not actually using a webcam right now, I'm actually using a mirrorless camera from Sony. So the capture card is what enables me to take any kind of like DSLR camera and connect it to the computer and use it to show the video as an input source to whatever my streaming software is. So that's another really good thing to have. A capture card is a very, very useful tool. The other good thing about having a capture card is if you're really, really serious about streaming games no matter what, you want to have a capture card so that you can you can stream console games on a professional looking stream. Because I know like the consoles, they have their own, you know, go live features. They have their own little app to stream their gameplay to their friends and stuff on like PSN and Xbox Live. And then they have the integrations with Twitch and all these other content delivery networks. But the thing is, like, that doesn't look that good, and no one's really going to take that kind of stream seriously. So the capture card allows you to plug in your console's HDMI port into the capture card, and then you can be streaming the PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4 or Xbox Series X or whatever. And I will have to do that in June because I do plan to live stream Final Fantasy 16. And Final Fantasy 16 at launch will be a PlayStation 5 timed exclusive, and I will be playing it on launch day. Guaranteed, and we're going to do live streams featuring Final Fantasy 16. That is the next big game. So hopefully I can finish Hogwarts Legacy before late June when Final Fantasy 16 shows up, because that's the next big game for me. That, in fact, that's my most anticipated game of the year. So let me kind of show you guys the overall setup. We'll kind of draw it out over here. So you have the PC, you have the tower, PC, and then you have... So there's two types of capture cards. We've talked about capture cards before. So what I am personally using right now is something called... Well, you know what? The easiest way for me to illustrate this for everybody is to... Hold on. Let me just find a picture of it. Let me just grab the picture of it. Why is it so hard to find these things? Okay, here's a picture of it. I want to get a picture that'll show you guys the front end. Okay. All right, so this is an Elgato HD60S. This thing is an external USB 3.0 capture card. So this is the Elgato HD60S. So the way I have this, hold on, let me show Sony A51. So I've got a Sony A51. This is the camera. So this is the camera that you guys are able to see me on the stream right now, is using one of these as a webcam. So let's go make that small. So the way I have this set up is I have the camera. The camera is connected to the capture card as a video input into the capture card. Then the capture card has a USB-C that goes into a USB-A port on the back of the motherboard, so into the computer. This is how I can show you guys myself using an actual camera. Now, I could use a webcam. Alternatively, the easy thing to do is just use like any whatever webcam and just connect the webcam in as a USB device. You won't need a capture card. You won't need, a camera or whatever. So, but this is one way to do it. This is the way most of the professional streamers on Twitch do it. So think of those mega channels like Asmongold. Asmongold is using this type of camera. Actually, he's using a way more expensive camera. He's actually using like a Canon Mark II or whatever. But anyway, the point is, it's the same sort of setup. You have to have some kind of dongle capture card to connect this. Now, the alternative is an internal capture card. What mic am I using? So, let me finish this thought here. So, let me finish the part on capture cards, then we can talk about microphones. AverMedia Live Gamer 4K. So, there's also the internal capture cards, which I actually recommend those over the other ones. So How do I... Where's the picture on this? All right, let's just get this picture. Okay, so this is an internal... Well, it's kind of not a good picture, but you guys get the idea. This is an AverMedia Live Gamer HD, or a Live Gamer 4K, I should say. So this is an internal capture card. So that's actually a bad picture. Let's just get a better picture. Let's just go with this. This. Notice the lanes. This requires 4 lanes of PCIe physical connections. So this is an internal capture card. So this goes inside the computer, just like a graphics card. It plugs into a PCIe slot. It must be an X4 PCIe slot. This is the reason why when I review those motherboards, I make a big deal about the PCIe lanes. A lot of people are like, oh, well, you should be talking about VRMs. Well, you know what? There's a lot of content. Buildzoid does a lot of stuff on VRMs. And the reality is when we're talking about AMD motherboards, the AMD processors don't use that much power compared to the Intel ones, even when you're overclocking them. So any run-of-the-mill B650, as long as the VRM is fully covered, you're golden. So that's why I don't focus too much on VRMs to differentiate the products or the motherboards. I look more about the connectivity because the connectivity is actually going to enable you to do things that actually matter more so than, oh, hey, I've got a really nice VRM. So the capture card goes inside the computer, and that is this is a 4K. So I want to differentiate. This is a 1080p 60 capture card. So you cannot capture 4K with this external capture card. This is a 4K 60 capture card, which also supports HDR. So you can tell that's going to be a more expensive capture card. So what would I plug into that? Well, let me show you what I'd plug into that. Let me find a picture of it real quick. Let's just go with this one, I guess. Let's just go with that one. Why am I not able to find the image? Okay, let's just go with this one. That's a huge image. Okay. Anyway, this allows me to plug in a console. So now I can run my HDMI out the back of the PlayStation 5 and straight into the capture card via HDMI. And now I effectively treat the PlayStation 5 as though it was nothing more than a graphics card in the computer. In the sense that I can get video input into the PC. So this is actually what I have right now. I have an AverMedia Live Gamer 4K connected to the PlayStation 5. And then I have an Elgato HD 60S connected to the Sony Alpha 5100. This is almost like a sponsored video for Sony because I just now realized I have a Sony camera and I have a PlayStation 5. But then we also have Elgato and we have AverMedia stuff on here. So anyway, this is kind of what I have connected. So the very computer that we're talking about that I'm streaming from right now, talking to you guys, has this hardware connected to it. Yeah, most VRMs are overkill. Okay. So the microphone is a huge, like a whole nother can of worms or a whole nother rabbit hole to go down because microphone quality is going to depend, it's going to vary widely based off of your voice because some microphones have very good bass to the point where it might actually be too overwhelmingly strong on the bass, and that might not be good because if someone's listening to a live stream or something, and they have let's say they have a home theater system connected to their PC, or they have a subwoofer in particular connected to their PC. If you have a subwoofer and if the person talking has a microphone that has very strong bass, it's going to end up causing that sub to like vibrate too much, and that might annoy the listener or the viewer. So that's why microphones kind of are, it's really challenging to recommend a specific microphone because everybody's voice is different. So, but I can tell you what I'm using. So I'm using something called an Elgato Wave 3. Formerly, I used a Audio Technica AT2020. But I'm using... Hold on, where is the thing? Is this going to show up properly? That is the microphone that I'm using, man. That is a huge image. So this is the microphone that I have connected. Now, some people will recommend XLR microphones. They'll just swear on their grave that XLR is the way to go. I'm using a USB-based microphone. I honestly don't really notice much of a difference between XLR and USB. The thing about XLR is you plug it into a DAC, and by having that available to you, you have more manual control over the analog signal itself coming off the microphone, going into the DAC, and then before that goes into the PC via USB. So you can adjust things like the gain, you can adjust potentially other things depending on the DAC. So that's the reason why people might recommend an XLR microphone over a standard USB microphone. But you can also use software to manage those kind of audio profiles as well. Although I don't know, I haven't bothered to spend too much time messing with audio. Like, I just kind of have the one USB-C microphone or USB 3 microphone. Actually, I don't even think it's USB 3. It's just a USB microphone, and that's what I use. So you just need a microphone. I guess I mentioned that, but the thing is, we're talking about content creation. I guess now we're really talking about like live streaming in particular, because these sort of hardware components are really only needed for live streaming. You don't actually need this. Well, I guess you do need it if you're going to record like overlay, I guess, or like you're going to do a recording in post of something that you filmed previously. So then you would need a microphone. So yeah. This is what the Elgato Wave 3 sounds like. But the other microphone that I've used in the past for many, many years, I only got this Elgato very recently, actually. I haven't even had it for a month, just so you know. Almost all my live streams previously were using the Audio Technica AT2020, USB. So I've never actually used an XLR microphone for any of my production workflows. It's all just been a USB microphone. And I don't use a DAC. I don't have any of that stuff. I don't have a Stream Deck. A lot of people use an Elgato Stream Deck. I don't recommend that thing because I don't really see why you need to use a Stream Deck to do stuff. I guess unless you're really trying to become like a comedian streamer, or like someone who, like think of like S-Fan TV, or someone who has like a green screen and they're going to do like a lot of skits and stuff like mid-stream, and you're really going to be like an entertainer. Stream Deck and all that other stuff, completely unnecessary and not needed at all. So, yeah. So that's kind of what I use. The other thing I would recommend is a microphone arm. I would not recommend using a microphone on the desk just with the default stand. I would recommend a mic arm and a shock mount as well, and a pop filter. So that's kind of my advice there. The goal is to do like, in my mind, if you're able to achieve podcast quality audio, that's really all you need to do. In fact, that's what I would aim for. Try to make your audio of your voice sound like you're on a podcast. If you can do that, it doesn't matter what microphone you get as long as you're able to achieve that. Because some people, they still use, like a mod mic or something, or they use like a headset, like a gaming headset with like whatever default microphone that comes with. Now the quality on that is going to be very hit or miss. So I don't recommend that, but I know some people still do that, and they're able to have successful channels by using that kind of setup. So, yeah, I kind of think, though, you know, like, my regulars, so Met Prism, Hades, Joey, I mean, the people who are in the stream right now, primarily, like, the ones who have been watching for months, we should probably try to make, like, some kind of podcast thing where, like, all of us are in the Discord. I know Met Prism, and there was someone else from the Discord that was in the channel. There was a live stream that I did a long time ago, back in, like, I want to say December. I think it was December. I think it was a live stream where I was doing a live stream on the 7900 XT, and I was playing Quake 2 RTX. I think we were looking at RTX. We were looking at ray tracing performance in Quake 2 on the new Radeon 7000 series cards. And I know Met Prism was in the Discord. I was in the Discord, and there was a third guy. I forget who it was. But the three of us were kind of talking about, like, the ray tracing and stuff. I feel like we should try doing something like that again, but it would be more like a podcast format. So, like, Joey would be in there, and he could be talking about his overclocking experience and that kind of thing. I would like to do that, actually. Like, do like instead of me just doing my typical live stream like I'm doing right now, we do like a podcast thing where it's like me and 2 or 3 others, and we're just talking about the industry trends, that kind of stuff. I think that would be a good way to start for those that are looking at content creation as well, whether it's hobbyists starting out for the first time, etc. So I'd be open to doing that. If any of the viewers, any of my regulars, if you guys are open to doing that, I think Joey would probably be up for it. But like Met and not just Hades and Met, but like any of the regulars. So like Nisco, Marcelo. You know, there's like a bunch. There's a bunch of the regulars. You know, like we've kind of formed our own little community at this point in terms of hardware enthusiasts. So we should probably plan on doing that at some point in the near future. But there you go. Now you know kind of the in and out of what is needed for content creation for YouTube. You need to have video editing software. I recommend DaVinci Resolve. You need recording equipment, so obviously a camera, lighting. A capture card it's optional. Like, I would consider a capture card completely optional, but it is extremely versatile and extremely useful, so I highly recommend it. It certainly makes use of those extra PCIe slots on the motherboard. In fact, I want to install another one. I've got another one sitting over there on that table behind me. I have a Live Gamer Duo, which I want to install in the remaining slot to add another 1080p, a potential 1080p source on those 2 remaining lanes. So, yeah, so Joey looks like you're up for it. Hades looks like you're up for it too. So, yeah, we should probably plan on something like that. You guys are in the Discord. I'm trying to figure out, is Marcelo in there? Because I think if Marcelo was in there, this would turn into a lot more of a comical podcast. Yeah, this makes me wonder, maybe I should try to stream to Twitch again. Or at least stream simultaneously. The thing is, I use OBS so much that I don't know how to stream to Twitch without switching back over to XSplit. You're waiting to join as well? Oh, you're willing to join as well. Okay. Yeah. So we should plan on doing that. We should do like one of the streams, instead of it just being a live stream, we do like a podcast instead. Can OBS stream to multiple platforms? See, I don't know. That's a good question, Hades. I've never seen it have that functionality. I'll have to look into it, because if I was gonna stream to Twitch and YouTube, I would use XSplit. Now, the reason why I don't like XSplit that much anymore is because OBS has so many more features. It's just moved so much further ahead. I might have to, you know what? I might have to see. I'm thinking I might have to pull my Intel Arc graphics card and put it in this computer. I want to try. Well, okay, never mind, because AV1 still doesn't work on YouTube, and it definitely doesn't work. It has one stream URL and one stream key, though. Yeah, see, that's the problem. See, XSplit is super easy. You just authenticate to whatever website you want to stream to. You put in your stream key or whatever. Or you don't even have to put your stream key in anymore on XSplit. You just, like, on XSplit, you can log in to YouTube and you can log in to Twitch and whatever else you want, and then you just start streaming to both. You can start the streams as two individual streams. That's what I really like about XSplit. And I'm one of the... So the problem with XSplit, though, is people don't like XSplit because of the licensing. But for me, it's never been a problem because I'm one of the original OGs that had XSplit from when they were in the open beta. So I actually have a full premium XSplit permanent license that will never expire. So I've been able to leverage that. So for me, streaming to YouTube and Twitch via XSplit is easy. Like, it's easy for me to do that. So... I just stopped using XSplit, though, because I don't stream to Twitch anymore, and OBS just has all the integrations that I need to use, so... Yeah. I'll have to look into it. There might be a way to do it. Yeah, because you can't have two instances of OBS open. I don't think it works that way. That might be the other way that I can think of. But then that's going to make it very resource intensive if you have two instances of it, because it's already going to consume. Like, just for me, just looking at OBS right now, OBS, it's only using, according to Windows, it's only using about 600 megabytes of RAM. The problem is the GPU encode. Because if you do two instances of OBS, you're going to be duplicating your GPU encoding. You're going to have like two encode sessions going on the GPU, and that could become a problem. Where with XSplit, it takes the single GPU stream, and it basically like double encodes it on the XSplit side. It just transmits the packets to, you know, one to YouTube and one to Twitch, so you don't have to be doing multiple encoded sessions with your GPU or your CPU. So all right, well that's pretty much all I had for this stream. It's kind of an interesting topic. But yeah, like I'm definitely, I haven't used my PlayStation 5 in a long time. It's just been sitting and collecting dust. But Final Fantasy 16, we're definitely going to be getting some use out of this hardware down here. But this is good to have, right? Because one thing that I can also do is I can stream Nintendo Switch. I can stream Nintendo Switch games if I want. I would just plug the Switch in here. But realistically, what I'm going to do, because I don't want to mess with my camera, I'm going to get the Elgato... No, not Elgato. Why do I keep saying Elgato? AverMedia Live Gamer Duo. The Live Gamer Duo was actually pretty cool. It can allow me to have two sources. So, yeah, I'm going to have to plug one of those in. The only problem is I don't have enough bandwidth. I only have an X2 slot on the Gigabyte Aorus Master on the bottom slot. And the Live Gamer Duo requires 4 lanes. I only have 2 lanes. So I already know what happens to the 4K card if I plug it into an X1, because I did that on my Intel motherboard. What ends up happening is you can't do 4K 60. You'll be doing like 4K 24 or something. So I assume with 2 lanes of PCI bandwidth, I might be able to do 1080p. Well, I should be able to do 1080p 60. So, and that's all I need. So we'll see. But the Duo is kind of weird because it's got 2 inputs. It has a 1080p 60 input, and it has a 4K 30 pass-through, 1080p 60 second input. So this is a good idea for a video, basic setup for streaming. Yeah, but the problem is it's so... Okay, maybe I'll have to redo the whole video, because the video is so... It's all over the place. Like, I talk about video editing first when video recording is actually what you should talk about first. So, but I don't know. Maybe I'll chop it up into a video and see if I can salvage it and make it an actual video. Or maybe I'll just make a whole video about basic setup for streaming. Okay, guys. Well, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Once again, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks.